Hey everybody, Joshua Murli here today, and I'm so excited to be talking to you today about traffic. And traffic, as you know, it is the posting, it's the advertising, it's the getting the people to actually show up on your funnels, on your website, on your pages, and so forth. Now, when you think of traffic, we all know traffic as the cars piling up behind one another, bumper to bumper. It's kind of like the same thing. It's like all these cars are piling up, bumper to bumper, trying to go to a specific location. Okay, and that location in this case is going to be your sales pages and your sales funnels and your processes and all these kind of things. So traffic is generally all the people that are going to view and come into this process. Okay, so there are two types of traffic. One is called paid traffic, and the other is called organic traffic. Now, paid traffic is it's what it actually says. It means you pay for the traffic, you buy it. Okay, so you can go to Facebook, Instagram, you can buy traffic. You can go to Google, you can buy traffic. You can go to YouTube, buy traffic. You can even go to radios, to newspapers, to TV and buy traffic. Right. So it's anything that you have to pay to get people to show up. That's called paid traffic. Okay. The other one is called organic traffic. Now, organic traffic is where you don't pay anything, but you have to work for it. It's like your time. It's kind of like you go into these networking events and you kind of giving off your business cards. You have to spend time giving off those business cards. You got to chat up people, right? It's word of mouth. It's all these things that doesn't cost you any money. Maybe you stand outside and you're giving out flyers. So it's less money. It involves no cost of advertising. It's just basically you just handing out flyers and working towards it, right? It's a very awesome strategy. Has been around for years. Businesses have been using organic for almost like forever, right? And now it's kind of like organics moved from offline, which is all what I'm talking about, to an online space. So it's kind of like giving off those business cards online. It's kind of like networking online and all these kind of things. So that's the difference. That's organic traffic and the difference between paid and organic. Okay. So we want to today focus more on organic traffic than on paid traffic, and here's why. See, paid traffic is amazing, and you can get a lot of people to view and come into your pages, but if we don't have something to sell on the back end, then we're going to end up buying traffic and not making any money. So that's the thing I don't want most of you guys to do. Because we haven't went through phase 2 yet and actually built your second phase of your funnel or your sales funnel, we don't actually have a process to sell anything. So if you buy traffic, we may not make any money. So for now, we're going to focus more on organic traffic and actually getting people to show up through a free method and a free way. Now, most people would think like, hey, listen, I don't think organic traffic is going to work. I mean, how big is organic traffic? Can it actually work? And I always tell people, if you have more time than money, then organic is definitely going to work. If you have more money than time, then paid is definitely a different approach, right? But here's why organic is going to work. Now, a few years ago, I didn't think organic traffic actually worked, right? I was always doing paid advertising, always bought the traffic, always got people to show up, and I turned that paid advertising to sales, and it worked for me very well. And then I stumbled upon a friend of mine who showed me, actually it was an interview I did with this guy. He made over $100 million using organic traffic alone. And I was like, what are you doing? What is special about this? I don't understand. And he showed me all the secrets and all the tricks of getting people to come organically. It's kind of like networking, but doing it on a big scale online. And I was like, this is amazing, okay? And I remember as I was listening to him, I started to track back when I began my journey in business. And I realized that I was actually doing this organic traffic in the initial stages when I had no idea how to do advertising and paid advertising. I was actually doing it back in the day. And so I remember I had a sound company that I used to do sound for weddings and birthday parties and events. And I obviously I didn't know how to do advertising, so I wasn't getting any paid ads done at all. And I had to figure out how to get customers. So I remember thinking that, hey, if I can go to event coordinators who basically do the marketing, they do the advertising, they've got the customers, right? And they go and actually get sales. And if I can get to event coordinators, I can get access to their traffic and their market. So what I started to do is started a network with event coordinators, okay? I started creating deals, started emailing people, Googling them, emailing them, going to, all these bridal shows, networking with other suppliers, other network, event coordinators. And I finally said, hey, listen, I want to create a deal with you. It's called the host beneficiary relationship, right? I learned this thing from a guy named Jay Abraham. I'm going to give you guys 25% of my sound company every time you refer somebody to me. And then on top of that, I'm going to increase the price by another 25% and actually give you kind of like 50% of my business for doing absolutely nothing. And I remember all the event coordinators going crazy for the offer, and they all kind of networked with me, and I got from one event coordinator to two event coordinators, 3, 4, 5. And I realized with just 4 or 5 event coordinators, I was getting booked out every single week just by having this partnership with event coordinators. And what I realized that I didn't have to go and pay any money to any advertising platform. I was just leveraging of their advertising, of their traffic. They were doing doing the advertising, they were getting the customers, and I was just benefiting from them. Okay, so that's the relationship I built with all these coordinators. And I realized as this guy was telling me about how he was making $100 million in paid traffic using this concept, I realized something, that wait, I was doing this before even advertising online even was a thing for me. But he showed it to me in such a way where he said, hey, I'm doing this online. And I was like, how would you do this thing online? It's like, it's called the Dream 100. And today I want to share with you something called the Dream 100. Okay, this is a powerful, this is an amazing concept. Okay, and what Dream 100 means, it means, listen, if how I went to 5 event coordinators and used their leverage, if you can go to 100, even more, even it doesn't matter, right? You can go to 200, 300, 400, but I just call it the Dream 100. So go to even 100 members that have access to your audience, and leverage of them, you can grow your organic reach. Okay, so here's what Dream 100 means, right? So it's kind of like it's like he showed me what he was doing, and he was doing these shows, right? These interviews, and what he would do is he would have this interview set, and then he would invite guests onto his show. And everybody loves to be on a show, right? So you bring a guest on, guest would join the show. What would happen amazingly is that guest would get this picture of herself on the show and whatever, and she would go and promote it to all her friends and audiences and people that she's in network with. And that was the catch. So she would bring her audience, you would bring your audience, and then they would merge, right? And they would create this event on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. And then they would talk over this conversation, and all this guest's audience will then click the links for this guy's lead funnels and his sales funnels and all these things, right? Because in the live video or in the show, he would offer the lead magnets. Okay, he'd offer the sales process, he'd offer the thing that he wants to give away. So eventually, all the audiences of that guest became his audiences, and he didn't have to pay a cent to acquire that audience, right? He did it all organically. And he will do this. He picked 100 people in his niche. He asked them, hey, would you be willing to come show up at the interview? A percentage of them said, okay, let's do it. And he get them on the board. He will do the interview and ask them a bunch of questions about how they became successful in the industry and what's working, what's not working. And then his listeners will click on his lead magnet, and then he would obviously gain that audience. And I realized, oh my gosh, this is mind blowing. And then I took this journey to go in and doing the exact same thing. And like I said, I had this disbelief it wasn't going to work. And I did my first interview, and I remember how many people were just opting in from another guy's audience list, right? So I did it again, and the same thing happened. I did it again, the same thing happened. And over again, every time I interview new people come and opt into my sales funnels and come become new leads for me. So I'm super excited to teach you something called the Dream 100 in the next coming steps. So this is the concept. It's called Dream 100. Get the 100 of the most influential people, and let them bring the people to you so that you can leverage off them. With that being said, guys, I'm super excited. My name is Joshua Mudliar, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers, everybody.